And day one in the trial of Justin Johnson, the man accused of killing rapper Young Dolph. There were explosive accusations and pictures of the clothes Dolph wore when he was shot were shown as evidence. Young Dolph was killed outside a cookie shop in South Memphis 3 years ago.
And prosecutors say the rapper's murder was ordered after he wrote lyrics that disrespected someone from another record label. WREG's Brian Ditlake is here with a look at what happened in that courtroom. Brian?
Stephanie, Greg, day one of the Young Dolph murder trial wraps up with prosecutors laying out a motive and the jury hearing from one of the alleged hitmen.
Are these white squares showing where there are holes in the clothing?
Correct. Jurors see a photo of the t-shirt worn by Adolph Thornton Jr., known as Young Dolph, the day he was shot some 20 times. It's taken almost 3 years to bring one of his accused killers, Justin Johnson, to trial.
And within a reasonable degree of medical certainty, did you render an opinion as to the cause of this victim's death?
I did.
What was the cause of that?
Gunshot wounds of the head, torso, and neck.
And prosecutors say Johnson and Cornelia Smith were hired killers, a $100,000 payout set and ordered by a man commonly known as Big Jook from the CMG record label and brother of well-known rapper Yo Gotti. Smith, who said he wanted money to buy drugs and for his daughter's birthday, testified for the prosecution about the deadly deal. He said they knew Dolph would be in town in late November of 2021 for his annual turkey giveaway.
Until I'm in town, got shot out.
Aiming for Dolph.
Oh, I ain't for Dolph.
Was he able to say anything to y'all, or was he able to run or get away at all?
I shot through the glass, so I wasn't close up on him. I was shooting through the glass.
Sure.
I saw him standing by the window. I just got out and started shooting.
Moments after, Smith says he FaceTimed Jook using sign language to tell him Young Dolph had been shot. He said Jook told him he was with his kids and would get with them later.
I just wanted my money. I did the job. I just wanted my money.
And Smith says he was promised $40,000 for the shooting. He says he received $500. Johnson's lawyer said his client, an aspiring rapper known as Straight Drop, wanted to be part of the CMG record label and is innocent. He places blame on a third defendant charged in Dolph's death, Hernandez Govin. Prosecutors say Govin planned out the hit on Young Dolph, originally ordered by Big Jook.
You like to exploit. You like to exploit young rappers. Like Mr. Johnson.
Now, Big Jook was subsequently killed this past January. Young Dolph's family was in the court. His sister was one of the first to take the witness stand for the prosecution, for the protection and the protection of some of the witnesses. The prosecution has asked the media not to show their faces. The trial continues tomorrow. We're live in the studio. Brian Ditlake, WREG.
Well, that's good that he didn't escape his judgment either. I'm going to start by giving all the praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Rachak, Wadash. Double honor to the elder apostles and bishops of the great millstone now rule well. Peace, blessings, and salutations to the hopeful elect tabernacle of David scattered abroad throughout the four corners of the globe. Now, I'm definitely not surprised at this, this trial of Young Dolph's murder. The rapper in Memphis that got killed a few years ago. And just to show you, how low level Jake really is, man. They're very on a low vibration. Scriptures say that, they're wise to do evil, but to do good, they have no knowledge. All it took was for a dude to offer some money, and these niggas was willing to go out on a crash dummy mission, to jeopardize their life, just for money, money that was gonna eventually grow some wings and fly away, because that's what happens with money. But niggas covet and they'll do anything for it. This is why Paul said in the book of Timothy that the love of money is the root of all evil. Because some people, they get it wrong and they'll say money is the root of all evil. It's not money itself that's the root of all evil. It's the love of it, which many covet after. And that's all it took, you know, a contracted killing or murder. These dudes just wanted a payout, and they took the opportunity and they went and crashed out. And now, you know, dude is pretty much getting ready to go to the can for the rest of his life, along with the others, his co-conspirators. The guy who even put the contract out, he got judged at the beginning of the year. So it's L's for everybody that was involved. So Jake, they're stupid, like the scriptures say, man. For they are sottish children, for they are wise to do evil, but to do good, they have no knowledge. All right, so let me get a couple of precepts, because everybody involved took an L except E. E's the only one who won out of this whole situation, because all them dudes are locked up or dead. And the record label that Young Dolph was actually up under had several rappers who were killed. And normally these record companies, they take out insurance policies. I remember we covered that years ago when all this was going on. These rappers was dying back to back to back, and they all happened to be under this same label, Empire Records. He takes out the insurance policies on them, so he cashes out. All right, so all them dudes, they all took a L, couldn't get your money. And then they said in the report that them dudes only received $500. So you crashed out over $500. They said one of the guys, he got $500 and he tried to leave town and go out of town. But because he didn't have enough money to stay out of town, he brought his black ass right back to town. And that's when they was waiting on his ass, because they didn't think that the security footage, you know, all the technology, all the surveillance technology throughout all these major cities, Jake dumbasses, you know, not thinking clearly. All they thinking about is the money. You're getting traced and tracked the whole time. You're being watched. All your crimes are being caught on film. So there was plenty evidence that they were sitting on when it's carried out, when it's happened. They catch you through the phone records, text messages, security cams. And you don't think that you're gonna get caught. Jake is a bunch of idiots, man. But who gets the win? E. Let me get some precepts. Let's go to Ecclesiastes 5. It's Ecclesiastes 5 and I'll start at verse 13. It says, "There is a sore evil which I have seen under the sun, namely riches kept for the owners thereof to their hurt. But those riches perish by evil travail. And he begetteth a son, and there is nothing in his hand. As he came forth of his mother's womb, naked shall he return to go as he came. And he shall take nothing of his labor, which he may carry away in his hand." You know, so at the end of the day, you know, whatever you do to try to get rich in society, even if you do get a little money, you can't take that money with you, and you don't know when it's required of your soul. You don't know when it's your time to go. Our life is as a vapor. 1 minute you're here and 1 minute you're not. And everything that you put yourself through to get those riches, to attain it, it can't leave with you. So who gets it after you? Who do you leave it down to? If you in that record, industry, if you in the entertainment or music business, that money usually is get left to the label, which is usually owned by E. So at the end of the day, you die, he wins. So your children ain't finna get nothing. So it is hey man, it's vanity, it's folly. But Jake fall into that cycle, and Jake they love bribes, man. Let me get Proverbs real quick. This is Proverbs 1 and verse 10. It says, "My son, if sinners entice thee, consent thou not. If they say, come with us, let us lay wait for blood." And this is what Jake will do. They'll conspire, they'll get together, and you know, they have a op. And if there's money involved, they'll get somebody will put a contracted price on that person's head, put a target on them, and Jake will crash out because Jake will do anything for money. You know, they'll do anything. So they'll be willing to take a life. It says, "Let us lurk privately for the innocent without cause," which that young Dolph dude, he wasn't innocent. You know, he was wrapped up in all that street stuff. And here it is, you a rapper and you making it out of the neighborhood only to come back, you know, when you know that you got enemies waiting on you. You know, that's Jake, they never learn. You know, Jake, we under the curse. They have that evil eye, so as soon as you attain some form of success, Jake is gonna envy you. You know, the dude Nipsey, he went back to his neighborhood, what they do to him. So this dude, Young Dolph, goes back to the neighborhood, thought he was going to show up and give out some turkeys and stun on dudes. And he had no idea that his judgment was right around the corner for him. Pull up to buy some cookies, ended up taking 20 plus hot ones with nowhere to run. You know, he wasn't innocent. The scriptures say, whoever perished being innocent, or where were the righteous cut off. You know, he was part of that entertainment business, which, you know, it requires you to promote violence and degeneracy, you know, braggadocious talk, content, more violence, you know, the pride of life, which is of the world. And if he was, you know, agitating enemies by saying certain things on songs, that's usually how it go anyway. Life and death are in the power of the tongue. Didn't make it right for them to murder the dude, but this is what happens. All that money and dude was running around with, he had no security, just careless. He wasn't circumspect, and they ended up catching him. It says, "Let us swallow them up alive as the grave, and whole as those that go down into the pit. We shall find all precious substance. We shall fill our houses with spoil." Yeah, I want to buy some drugs. I want to buy some stuff for my daughter for Christmas. I want to, you know, get all these plans. So that's all they was thinking. I gotta take this dude's life because I want to be able to fill my daughter with gifts under the Christmas tree this Christmas season, which is pagan. They ain't even supposed to be celebrating no damn Christmas. But you can just, you know, that's what's going through these niggas' minds. It says, "Cast in thy lot among us, and let us all have one purse. My son, walk not in the way with them. Refrain thy foot from their path, for their feet run to evil and make haste to shed blood." And that's what they did. They shed blood. You know, they hopped out and with automatics. And then these dudes, they didn't even realize that they were under surveillance even before they did the shooting. You know, it was surveillance footage that showed that when they even picked up that white car that they pulled up in, to the time of the shooting when they hopped out, to the time that they left, and where they actually parked the vehicle. So they were being watched the whole time. These a bunch of idiots. These little niggas ain't even smart anymore when it comes to these kind of activities. That surely in vain the net is spread in the sight of any bird, and they lay wait for their own blood. Yeah, man. Another fellow Israelite, you know, you lying in wait for your own blood, your own people. Your brother's life is nothing, especially when it comes to a piece of paper, a debt note. It says they lurk privately for their own lives. So are the ways of everyone that is greedy of gain, which taketh away the life of the owners thereof. You know, and that's what you find amongst our people, man. They love, you know, paid hits. You know, there's an opportunity for the bag, so I'm gonna take this man out, take his life. That's what they do. And this is why the Lord's gonna kill the majority of our people, man. Ezekiel 22 and Ezekiel 22 and 12, it says, in thee have they taken gifts to shed blood. Thou hast taken usury and increase, and thou hast greedily gained of thy neighbors by extortion, and have forgotten me, saith the Lord power. Behold, therefore I have smitten mine hand at thy dishonest gain which thou hast made, and at thy blood which have been in the midst of thee. You know, so, you know, Jake always done this. Let's go to Isaiah 59. Isaiah 59 and Isaiah 59 and 6, it says, their web shall not become garments, neither shall they cover themselves with their works. Their works are works of iniquity, and the act of violence is in their hands. Their feet run to evil, and they make haste to shed innocent blood. Their thoughts are thoughts of iniquity, wasting and destruction are in their paths. Yeah, man, I just stood outside and just shot through the window. He was standing by the window, so I just shot through the window. All nonchalant. Like Jake don't even have a remorse for what he did. He was justified. He needed that money. He needed that cash money. Just a bunch of ignorant, low vibration Negroes, man. You know, and trying to get on as a rapper. So he had two incentives: get the bag and prove his loyalty to this other guy, so he could sign to this label, so he can get on a record and brag about his dirt that he's done. That's what these niggas usually do. They go into the booth and they basically snitch on themselves. You know that was what was coming next, and the feds was definitely watching. But they caught him before he can even make that deal. They only got $500 and got caught. So you about to go to the maximum penitentiary, spend the rest of your time behind bars for $500. You know, dumb niggas is dumb, man. All right, but this is what goes on in the world of Jake. This is why there needs to be a hard reset on them, because they just ain't right. All right, they're obviously under that curse. It says the way of peace they know not, and there is no judgment in their goings. They have made them crooked paths. Whosoever goeth therein shall not know peace. All right, and this is why evil is continual around Jake. You know, because you know they don't know the Heavenly Father. They don't know the ways of righteousness. So the Lord got to, you know, he got to get him up out of there. But you know, you never, hey, the Lord, he rewards you according to your deeds, so you never get away. All right, you will not escape your judgments. He that doeth wrong shall receive for the wrong that he have done, and there is no respecter of persons. And everybody involved took an L. Those that are deceased and those who got caught. The only one that won was Empire Records and the CEO. All right. And that's why they need you niggas to continue to promote what you've been promoting in music. This music is trash, man. And all it does is influence Jake to be demonic. Keep Jake in that cycle. So, you know, good for all these dudes involved, man. Good riddance. All right. And with that, I'm going to give all praise to Yahweh Shem Yahushai. Shalom.